This is Solitary Ronin from Solitary Ronin Films, and welcome to another random review. And today's random review is from 1955, and it's the Michael Powell Pressburgher film, O Rosalinda. Now this is the last of their colour extravaganzas. This is kind of the end of an era almost. After this film they would go back and do a couple of black and white World War II films, the Battle of the River Plate and Ill Met by Moonlight, which are not very great films. This was after Gone to Earth and the similar and superior Tales of Hoffmann. So this was 1955. British cinema is changing. Not that that really affected Powell and Pressburgher much, but this does kind of feel like the last hurrah of, just being assaulted by these beautiful technicolour images. So very much like the Tales of Hoffmann, this is a musical based on Johann Strauss's Die Fledermaus, with Anton Walbrook in the title role. It also stars Mel Ferrer, Anthony Quayle, Michael Redgrave, and Ludmila Chicherina from Tales of Hoffmann as the title character Rosalinda. It also stars Dennis Price, who gives a wonderful turn as a British officer. So it's set in Vienna during the war, so you have the four powers in control of each area, and then there's a neutral bit in the middle. It is essentially the same world as The Third Man is set, but obviously it's a completely different universe to The Third Man. There's no bodies floating in the river because they made some bad choices. There's no action in the sewers. This is technicolour stupendosity. The sets were constructed by Hein Heckroth, who obviously did The Red Shoes and Tales of Hoffmann. It was photographed by Christopher Chalice, who again is one of the great British DPs. So it looks absolutely stunning, but there is a but. The music isn't as good as Tales of Hoffmann. I mean, Tales of Hoffmann for me is kind of their flawed masterpiece. It's not perfect, but there's just a lot to like about it. Whereas O Rosalinda, the music's not quite as good. The songs aren't quite as good. They updated the lyrics. It's sung in English. And some of the stars actually do their own singing, apparently. But there's still a lot of fun to be had with the film. It's about 104 minutes long, which, to be honest, it could have did with being a little shorter, which you don't say that often about Powell and Pressburgher films. If you're a fan of Powell and Pressburgher, this network releasing edition is like a must buy. If you're a fan of Anton Walbrook, it's certainly a must buy, because this is really Walbrook's film. Yes, there's plenty of stars and support, but he kind of just gently drifts through the film, and he's really in charge. He's the guy who makes things happen and arranges things and kind of moves the plot forward. It's essentially about Michael Redgrave's French officer and Mel Ferrer's American officer vying for Rosalinda. There's mistaken identity, and Dennis Price and Anthony Quayle also get involved as well. There's lots of drinking and dancing. There are a few scenes that are just trademark Powell and Pressburgher. It has a wonderful opening where Anton Walbrook comes out and addresses us, the audience, and pretty much introduces himself and kind of tells us, gives us a quick overview of what's actually going to happen, and if we need anything, he can sort us out. And then the kind of opening where he's first arrested by the authorities and he gives testimony of what happened. It's just a stunning introduction. Again, beautifully done with the usual Michael Powell visual flair. But again, it's kind of set in... There's a lot less sets going on than in Tales of Hoffmann, so it does become a little samey, and because the songs, with 2 or 3 exceptions, don't really stand out, which again, if you're doing a musical and you've only got 2 or 3 good songs, then you're kind of got a problem. This was the problem for me with Shock Treatment, the not really sequel to Rocky Horror Picture Show. The songs just aren't that good. There's only like 2 or 3, if that, really good songs in it. And again, if you're doing a musical, you need to make sure the songs are top notch. So the music is good, but again, it doesn't quite stand up to Tales of Hoffmann or The Red Shoes. But there's still a lot of fun to be had. There's a wonderful drunk scene with Dennis Price, which obviously has a bit of foreshadowing, considering he pretty much turned into an alcoholic, where the set design, there's 2 of everything and it's really nicely done. Obviously the sets are wonderful by Henroth, but there is a real artificiality to the whole thing. So if you're unfamiliar with kind of those technicolour masterpieces of Powell and Pressburgher, the artifice, and the artificiality might kind of put you off. But if you just go with it, like I said, there's a lot of fun to be had with it. Anton Walbrook is just marvellous in it, as he always is. There's a nice use of a split kind of screen between the prison cell and the other room in the prison. There's lots of nice technical flair with the film, and obviously it looks stunning. But if you are unfamiliar with Powell and Pressburgher's work, this is not the film to start with. This is pretty much the Archers nearing the end of their relationship. 5 years later, Michael Powell would create the film that almost ended his career, but is a masterpiece in Peeping Tom, which again is a million miles away from O Rosalinda, the same way that O Rosalinda is a million miles away from the Third Man, even though they do exist in the same world, just not the same universe. It's a really nice print by Rosalinda, by O Network, and I would highly recommend it. As far as special features, you just get a trailer and an image gallery, but when you consider for years it wasn't available on any format, it is just great to have another Powell and Pressburgher film on Blu-ray, even if it's not their best work. But when you consider the body of work that they created, there's a reason why Powell and Pressburgher are next level filmmakers. So thanks very much for watching. Please leave comments below if you've seen O Rosalinda and what you think about it. And again, I don't want to put you off from picking it up, because there's still a lot of fun to be had with it. There's great moments in it, and it has a wonderful central performance by Anton Walbrook, who's having an absolute blast. So if you are a Powell and Pressburgher fan, pick it up. If you like Anton Walbrook, pick it up. But if you're wanting to start your Powell and Pressburgher collection, probably not the film to start with. So thank you very much for watching, and hopefully we'll see you again for more random reviews. This is Solitude Rune saying farewell.